Hello, everyone. So today we have a slightly different format. I'm going to interview Riccardo Sai, who's usually the host of this show. But we did have a couple of Espresso discussion already about personal branding. And we wanted to actually get Riccardo to talk a little bit about his own experience about personal brand and how he works with his clients. So Riccardo is a creative producer and a brand photographer. I am Delphine. I am a personal brand coach or personal business coach, but I do a lot of work on personal brands. And we met with Riccardo not that long ago, but we had so much to talk about and a lot of common theme around personal branding. So today, I wanted to ask Riccardo about his business, about his personal brand, and about how he brings other people's brand to life. So, hi, Riccardo.
Hello. This is
Thanks for coming to your own show.
Yeah, I know. This is a slightly unusual formula. I'm having an espresso with myself and with you. So, yeah.
So you just have to, we're just reversing the seat. So,
great.
would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, as you said, my journey has been well, I mean, it spans about 20 years, and I've been, I was born in Italy and moved to London 20 years ago, and I've been working in films mainly, so music videos, advertising, corporate films. So that's what I've been doing for pretty much all my life, and I've been doing that until now, and I'm still doing that. Over the years, I realized that I wanted to have a more personal connection with what I'm doing, and I know we discussed this, and just really finding a purpose in what I'm doing. So that led me to discover photography, and I found photography a more personal way of expressing myself. If I felt, it felt quite natural, because I mean, films is pretty much the same thing for me. It's the only difference is that you have sound, and you are telling stories with 25 or 24 photos per second, and then you add sound, and then you have a film, so it's not that different from me. So but it kind of allowed me to have I don't know, just to be more in touch with myself as well. So now I'm kind of juggling between the two, so working with bigger clients and making films, and with the smaller clients and making brand photography and some personal projects as well. So and that also led me to kind of rebranding myself as well. So I created a new brand, which is really kind of embracing my surname, which in Italian means Sai, which is a very unusual. It's kind of a it's a weird surname because only 3 letters. So I battled with that for many years, and I decided that I had to come to terms with that. So I embraced that, and I changed my brand into Mr. Sai. So my website is mrsai.uk, and that's my personal brand. I also have my company profile, which is different, but yeah, so that's me.
Yeah, and that's interesting, actually. I guess after 20 years in the UK, that you playing as well a little bit with the languages, and so no, it's really nice. What would you say is your so obviously you evolved over time, and you said you wanted to be more in touch with your purpose. How would you describe your purpose now?
My purpose is really helping other businesses to make a bigger impact through stories, meaningful stories, film and photography. So I try to move away from what I do, which is film and photography. I try to, because it's if I have to be honest, it's a very challenging career. It's difficult but it's a lot of fun, and it's really a hobby. I have a lot of fun taking films and photos. I absolutely love it. So, but then it's difficult, you know. It's challenging, you know, because it's just you and your business, and there's so much to do, and all sorts of different hats to wear as well. So so I tried to move away from this, but it just didn't work, you know. But in a way, it allowed me to really connect even deeper with what I love doing, which is stories, telling stories, using different using sounds and images. So that's been my journey. But the more recent journey has been to really redefining the target market, which really the type of clients that I want to work with. And just looking back at my career, I realized that the clients I was more proud of are the one that were led by purpose. So ethical brands, charities, NGOs, purpose-driven leaders. So so that's the type of people that I want to work with, the type of collaborators I want to work with. And so it's a new chapter, you know, so I'm kind of slowly transitioning to that, and it's great. I feel much more alive now that I have this new purpose.
Yes, that is so important. And you talked about impact, that you want to allow those people, client, purpose-driven, to have more impact. What does it mean for you? What sort of impact are you talking about?
Well, stories are very, very powerful. They can really change the world. I mean, we change, especially during the pandemic. A lot of businesses, they really change their mission, their culture, the way they communicate, and they change their narrative, how they want to communicate, we communicate in many different ways, but we talk. Words is, you know, it's how we communicate, but we communicate with images. Stories are made of images, and so powerful images can really can really communicate in a much more impactful way than words. And if you combine words with images and sounds, you have almost like a three-dimensional approach to storytelling, which I find very, very fascinating. So so I don't know, I think we need to communicate better, but we also need to stand out, and making a bigger impact with our communication is very, very important, I think. So telling better story, more meaningful stories, and stories that can make an impact, and that can really change how our audience perceive us, and stories that can really make the world a better one are much needed these days, I think.
No, I have a sense from the discussion we had, and even now, that for you it's really important to work with causes and purpose-driven organization and people who wants to create a change for a better world, better society. Sometimes it seems small, but it's all add up in the end. And final question for me, Riccardo, when you talked about a rebrand that you've been through, how did you work on that? What's been your learning when you went through that?
I think working on my brand, it's been I mean, in a way I'm lucky, because I've been always working with copywriters, branding consultants, agencies, other photographers. So in a way I'm lucky, because I always had people that I could talk to, and they really helped me in that sense, to really understand, you know, why I was doing what I was doing, what I wanted to do. I have worked also with some business coaches as well, and to be honest, it's been one of the best things that it reminds me a bit of what my mom said, that one of the best things that she ever discovered in the last few years was actually an iPhone. So for me, having work, because you know, iPhones are, if you never used an iPhone or you know, one of those smartphones, it's incredible what you can do with them. But you know, working with more than one business coaches, it's been one of the best thing ever, because it really helped me to have more clarity, which is what you guys help, and it's been really, really powerful. So yeah, and I think embracing my personal brand has been it's been a journey into really discovering myself, understanding more who is Riccardo Sai, who is this creative person coming from Italy, and embracing my ethnic background, the fact that I'm from a different culture, that I will never blend in the UK. I will always be, because you know, I don't really belong to Italy anymore, and I don't belong fully to this country as well. So that took a lot of years, you know, to really accept. And so working on my personal brand, it's been a great opportunity to really accept that, and just really embrace who I really am, and my personality, the way I look into camera. That's why I started to do these espressos. That's why I started to collaborate with other photographers on my personal brand photography as well. So yeah, it's been a great journey, I must say. And it's like holding a mirror in front of you and really seeing yourself, and really kind of getting, you know, coming to terms with who you are. And so it's a bit like, you know, having some therapy. And that's why, you know, I love photography, because you're really discovering something about yourself, looking at the photos and how a photographer sees you. And there's always a surprise element on that. So I don't know if that's answering your question, but
yeah, no, it's really interesting. I think there's a lot of we often look for change externally when something's wrong, and actually usually it's mostly internally. So having that self-exploration, that self-understanding, awareness, is the best thing you can do, whatever you do in life. So I totally, and I also resonate with your story about not quite fitting. I'm the same. I'm French, as everybody can hear. I've been in the UK for almost 20 years. So I'm not British, but when I'm in France, I'm not quite French neither. I'm in between. I'm married to a German husband here, so we are totally multicultural. And I love it, but yeah, sometimes it can feel a bit unsettling, and it's about embracing that. And it hasn't always been easy or the case. So final question, and then I think we say goodbye. If there's one thing you would have done different, what would have it been when you worked on your personal brand?
That's a tricky question. I think working with a team on my personal branding and really embracing my personal branding earlier on in my career. I think that's really, so really starting on my personal branding journey much earlier, and also working with people, but you know, committed to working with people on my personal brand much earlier, I would say, because so I encourage everybody to really work with people, well, such as myself and you, of course, but also, you know, designers, graphic designer, and people that can really help you in that, because that saves a lot of time on the long term. So so that's my takeaway from today.
Yeah, very true. Saves you a lot of time. But you know, in business, sometimes it takes time to realize those things. But well, thank you, Riccardo. It was a delight to interview you on your own show. So thank you very much.
You've been a wonderful host. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Ciao. Ciao.